Hello, we are Team Scoop and we will present you our game Shutter. In Shutter, you play as Kit, a new employee that has arrived at the mysterious research center Lie. The goal is to explore and solve puzzles using a camera that modifies objects using perspective.
At the beginning of the pre-production in May, we had decided to link space age aesthetic and brutalist architecture. Many rules has been established for the game to obtain the look we wanted. For example, the light coming from outside of the buildings have a purple tint, whereas the indoor lights have an orange tint.
For the textures of the environments, we choose to use a flat aspect with a minimum amount of high frequencies to avoid to distract the player's eyes while resolving puzzles. As Shutter is a puzzle game, level design needs to be modified quite often. Therefore, we thought of the environments in a modular way, so that we could iterate easily and quickly. Then, we added more specific models to magnify the aesthetic and the originality of each room.
The first environment that was created in concept with all that rules is the lobby, the main piece of the game. The realization of the concept has been done with multiple techniques, traditional drawing, 3D modeling and renders, and also paint overs. It also allowed us to test different shapes, colors and lights in a fast and efficient way.
The environments has used per person for gameplay mechanics needs, so we had to make sure the architecture is rich enough in order to hide the tiling.
As a specialist, I was asked to produce props that dress up the environment. We planned the creation of the props with Vincent and integrate them in the engine. I added many objects to give life to the game, and with them directly in the engine, the environment artist had a group of objects for the whole building.
As for me, I was asked to create more specific props that would embellish the work the team had already done. One of those props was a movie capsule that the player would encounter in different parts of the map. The diversity in the objects created gave a feeling of life while exploring the environment.
For our main mechanic, we wanted to recreate Superliminal's perspective mechanic. It looked fun to program and unusual enough to still be surprising. The mechanic allows you to change the size of objects depending on perspective and their size on screen. To create this visual illusion, we wanted to make the object bigger. The farthest is the background from the camera.
To make this mechanic enjoyable, we worked a lot on the 3Cs. At first, we were switching between third and first person when using the camera. But because of the emetic effect, we changed in full third person and test again to find a good smooth transition. The controls were also a challenge. Our first idea was to simulate a real camera, but it was not ergonomic enough. So, we ended up with a more simplified and balanced version of the controls.
I started on this project when it was at an advanced state, but my work was to assure that there will be no major bug or problem that will break the player experience. I worked on a lot of different parts of the game, from the pressure plate to the elevator. The camera was a big challenge. The first version had a lot of bugs like wrong collisions or calculation errors on some ray tracing. But we managed to correct them and bring new mechanics to explore the idea and create a good feeling for this mechanic. Specifically, my work was to bring solutions to technical problems that were difficult to solve for the team and adapt mechanics and gameplay to every concrete request from the team. I worked closely with Julian on a lot of parts of the game and was always available to help when he needed something specific. As we all know, creating a game is a collaborative work before anything else, and programming is like the cement that connects all the parts of the final product. It needs to be strong and adaptable.
As a character artist, my role was to create a charismatic and convincing character while remaining in harmony with the environment of the game. Movement being at the heart of our game, Kiss had to be athletic and slender. The sharp shapes and the exaggerated proportion were for me an effective way to give dynamic to his silhouette. The big challenge of this character was the rendering of the different shaders found in the game. The creation of specific material for the hair as well as Kiss' outfit within optimization constraints were technically and artistically very enriching. Giving life to Kiss as a character anchored in a strong 70s space age references with an unique identity was a real pleasure.
At the beginning, we created some puzzles only using the mechanic, like climbing a wall by using a giant object. After, we added new gameplay elements to spice up the puzzles. Pressure plates, moving platforms, code machines. By using all of these elements, we created a lot of different situations.
Our puzzle zone are made in a way that the player mechanics and features are unveiled step by step. Thanks to the process, we've been able to add each mechanic discovered in the lobby at the right time, so it's making a sandbox aspect to the game. In order to encourage the player to explore the environment of Shutter, we created collectibles.
With the time left to do the animation, we preferred to focus on the most specific animation for a game like camera pose.
For all the rest of the movement, we used Unreal's Advanced Locomotion system, which was made available by Epic just at the start of production. This system had two things we really wanted in our project: a climb system and IK footing. We wanted to bring some more movement to our overall static world. We tried to improve this by creating special animations for key spots in the game, animating giant pieces of architecture, as well as adding movement to small objects like the security cameras or small levitating objects.
As a team, we hope that you will enjoy our game, you will discover all the mystery and find your own answer to the story of Shutter.